What's up guys, Casual Avenger back with another video, and today we're taking a deeper look into the leaks that were dropped on Reddit, and we're focusing on all the information about She-Hulk and the content that's coming with her to Marvel's Avengers. And a lot of this ties into other leak news we've gotten in the past, so you definitely want to stick around to the end to get all the details, and with that said, let's get to it. So in my last video, I covered the new leaks on Reddit that basically outline all the content and heroes set to come out next year, but today I want to focus solely on the news concerning She-Hulk. According to the leak, she's the first hero scheduled to release in 2022, and she's coming with her own expansion that includes new content that honestly sounds like all the things fans have been wanting to see in the game for a while, myself included. So I'm super excited at the prospect of this content making it into the game next year. As I said in the last video, none of the leaks have been confirmed or supported by a credible source, so don't take this as an absolute, but for the sake of this video, I'll be playing devil's advocate and giving reasons why I could see this content actually making it in with the next expansion. Now, something I forgot to mention last video is that the order these heroes will be released in, according to the leak, does line up with a leak we got from Miller that has She-Hulk, aka Jennifer Walters, dropping ahead of Bucky, who's followed by Captain Marvel, and War Machine will be the last released hero for 2022. And we learned from Datamine leaks that the development on War Machine has stalled because development focus was moved to other characters who will be arriving sooner. So that is one thing that makes this all very interesting. Now, as for She-Hulk, her campaign will be on the shorter side, but it will feature a new villain sector, and this definitely caught my eye because we learned that Red Hulk is an enemy in the game from Datamine's last year, and he has animations, attacks, and everything, and it definitely makes perfect sense to have him paired up with She-Hulk, which leads me to believe her expansion will be centered around like a Gamma event of some kind. And I believe Crystal Dynamics was alluding to something like this with the Hulk's iconic mission, Condition Green.
Those police officers need your help. They could be fighting gamma monsters.
The machine in question is releasing toxic gamma gas into the air throughout town. If it does not kill when inhaled, it could potentially mutate the victim into a gamma-powered creature.
Now, the idea of not only getting She-Hulk added to the game, but having Red Hulk as a villain sector with new Gamma enemies to fight sounds absolutely amazing, and it definitely would be a step in the right direction for the future of the game. But not only are they adding a new villain sector for her, we'll be getting our first patrol mode added to the game, and this is something fans have definitely been wanting to see come to the game since the Wasteland patrol mode was announced leading up to Black Panther's DLC. Now, the leak says that 2 new locations will be added with her expansion, and with patrol mode being added, this makes me think that San Francisco will be the location of the patrol mode. And the reason I think this is because we never got the Wasteland patrol, and I think that's because they may have decided it's better to have players roam around the city versus roaming around a desert wasteland, either due to player feedback online or coming to that decision in developer meetings. But that does make sense as to why we never saw the Wasteland patrol and why we haven't heard any news outside of it, because if they're working on it for She-Hulk's expansion, they definitely can't promote it this early. But Miller also made a tweet back in December that lists San Francisco in a list of finished regions in the game. So again, I think a patrol mode based in San Francisco could be very possible. Man, if they can pull this off the right way, not only would we be getting a dope hero added to the game, but some amazing new content that's actually fun to play. And this is exactly the kind of news we need going into the next year, because if this all goes as planned, they'll be starting the year off with an absolute dub. Now, we talked about the content that's coming with her, but what about her gameplay? In the leaks, they say that players will be able to do interesting things with her, like dragging enemies along the ground by their heads and creating shockwaves, which sounds cool as hell to do, and it sounds like it will look amazing in the game. They also say she'll have a mechanic that lets her pin enemies to the ground similar to Black Panther, and she'll be able to punch them with her light attack, and for her heavy attack, she'll launch in the air and come down for a huge slam attack doing huge AoE damage, similar to what we saw Hulk do in Thor Ragnarok.
Another day, another Doug.
Now that definitely sounds dope as hell, and while I don't expect her to be as tanky as the Hulk or maybe not as powerful, I definitely can see her being a bit more fun to play as just because I know she'll be faster and more agile than he is. I think for her takedown attacks, we'll see a lot of wrestling slams and maybe some elbow drops, or she can swing enemies around by their legs, launching them off far as hell. Combat is the one thing I never doubt in this game, so I definitely believe the devs are having a lot of fun coming up with unique moves and takedowns for her. For her ranged attacks, I'm pretty confident that she'll be slinging rocks similar to Hulk because it just makes sense. And for her intrinsic, I think something similar to what we have with Hulk could work, but with slight variations to fit her character. So maybe she gets a speed boost or a boost to her heroics or something like that. And as far as her heroics in the game, you guys' guess is as good as mine. I think her support could be a heal of some kind where she regenerates health. And for her assault, maybe she could do a giant dive kick that can target enemies and does AoE damage on impact while also taunting enemies. And for her ultimate, I think a gamma explosion would be cool to see, and it could work similar to Black Panther's percussive blast attack, where she unleashes gamma energy in the explosion, which can put her in overcharge while also increasing her damage for a while. The last things I want to touch on is how she'll actually look in the game, and again we got some insights about this from Miller that says she will have a more sleek and athletic design versus the more muscled up version that we've been seeing more recently. But hopefully for the people who are actually fans of that look, maybe they can get that as an earnable cosmetic in the game, hopefully. Lastly, I think we can predict what major artifact will come with her DLC because Miller made a tweet about major artifacts that we could see in the future, and several of those have been introduced in the game, but the one I want to focus on is the Ultimate Nullifier, which if you're a fan of the comics or you played the Ultimate Alliance game, you know this ties directly to Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic of the Fantastic Four, and She-Hulk has been a member of the Fantastic Four in the past, so it would make sense that she would have an artifact that's related to the Fantastic Four. Now I'm not going as far as saying we could actually see the Fantastic Four come to the game, but I'm sure we'll get some dialogue referencing them when she makes it to the game. And that's where I'm going to end the video, but I want to hear from you guys down in the comments. Let me know what part of She-Hulk's DLC you're looking forward to the most. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like because it definitely helps the channel. And if you want to see more Avengers content covering future DLC heroes, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything because I make new videos every week. And in the next video, I'll be covering the leaks for Winter Soldier and everything that's coming with his expansion. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.